Families within different socioeconomic statuses have different educational experiences. One status is not only based on their income, but also the education that is offered to them. People within a lower socioeconomic household often develop slower academic skills than people in middle or higher socioeconomic households. People within a low socioeconomic status face a low amount of educational achievements, poverty, poor health, and households with parents that are too focused on making ends meet than their child's education. Parents within these households don't recognize these issues because they are mainly focused on producing an income for the family. Families within a higher socioeconomic status develop skills much easier, quicker, and their families are more concerned with the education they are receiving. They are more focused on living in the child's life than watching them go about life. Socioeconomic status has a huge effect on a child's thought process and academic ability now and in the future. Above on the screen, I have a quote that I would like you all to read. This quote explains that the way a family lives and what is offered to them affects the way they progress and succeed academically. Families with a high socioeconomic status are offered more resources and can get a child many things if they seem to struggle in school, such as access to a tutor, several if needed, a library with many resources to offer, and a good school to place your child in so it has the needs to excel. On the other hand, children living in a lower socioeconomic status don't have everything that is offered to a higher class. They have to struggle with school, study and teach themselves if they don't get it. They are placed in whatever school is in their community if it is good or bad, and have to deal with the unnecessary issues that other students may cause or be involved in. Children within low socioeconomic statuses may face poor cognitive development, which can cause them to fall behind and feel left out and feel out of place, unlike children within an upper socioeconomic status.
In the article Poverty and Education Reader, the call for equality in many voices. This quote tells us about the struggles that a poor child faces that the children of the middle and upper class do not have to consider. The poor child is forced to walk to school since his parents do not have any money to afford a car. Since the families do not have the opportunities in the same circle of his friends, the families with a car would not think to offer the poor family a ride. Also, the poor child has to wear whatever clothes are available to him, which are usually hand-me-downs. The poor child will not be able to wear the latest fashions or designer clothes. It is difficult for the child in the poor family to fit in when they look and act so differently. When wearing clothes that does not fit properly or is out of style can lower the self-esteem of the child from a poor family, which makes it even harder for them to fit in. In the book Unequal Childhood, Race, Class, and Family Life, working class and poor families had financial struggles not faced by the middle and upper class families. The mother in the poor families had difficult times providing enough food for their families and getting everyday chores completed. Poor families often spend many hours waiting for buses since they could not afford to drive a car. They also spent a long hours waiting online for food stamps at soup kitchens and food pantries. The poor family spent time bringing clothes to a laundromat instead of washing the clothes in their own apartments, because they could not afford a washer and dryer. There would be no money left over to pay for extra activities or sports. In addition, children in the poor and working poor families often had to go straight home in order to get their siblings off of the school bus and babysit until their parents came home. Children of the poor and working poor often had a lot of time after school to watch TV, play with their cousins, siblings, neighborhood friends, and find creative ways to keep themselves entertained.
In conclusion, families and outsiders need to understand and learn the education system. If your child is in a lower socioeconomic status, encourage them to get involved and join extracurricular activities. If a parent just asks once a day how school is, a child will feel more inspired to go to school and put themselves out there. Parents should learn that a child's academic life may be at times more important than their home life, and if they have a good educational experience, it will help build a successful path for them in the future. By promoting parental involvement to increase academic success, It allows a child to feel the comfort to strive and feel like they are not alone, and if they need help, they have someone to turn to. Parental awareness of the education system is an important part to a child's well being and future achievements.